All right, this next video comes to us from How Do You Do? It's Dustaroo, who is a very, very kind, down-to-earth homie who makes very, very excellent content. Has recently started a series talking about reworks to outdated or bad killers. We watched the Myers one last week, and now they're making one about twins, which is kind of infamously the most left behind and forgotten about killer in Dead by Daylight. I don't think Behavior knows they're in the game most of the time. So, like, yeah, I want to see what Dustaroo. I think Dustaroo had some really good ideas with the Myers rework, so I was very, very happy to, as somebody who used to main Myers, to read and have input on that. Twins is one of the few characters that, you know, in my area of playing most of the roster, I really didn't play too much because they're just kind of a buggy mess for the most part. So I kind of don't enjoy playing them. So it has very little to do with their power, really. It's kind of just how they're just a buggy, awkward mess. So I wonder what Dustaroo is going to do to change them. Keep in mind, the Behavior themselves are changing twins. They are doing a rework, but they have not given a date on that, and that's been in the works for like years, and they haven't said when that's coming, so who knows. But you need to click on that link if you have not. That just showed up in the Twitch chat, the Twitch chat. If you are watching this in the future on the YouTube, that'll be down in the description below, because if you don't support the official release of the video, you're a bad person, and I hope bad things happen to you. Anyways, getting started here.
How do you do? I'm Dustaroo. Welcome to part 3 of the Great Rework series. We've covered Michael,
whatever wins,
a starved version of him that puts up as much fight as you do in your dreams, a pushover. And then we have Freddy, who has the same amount of flavor as a big slab of birthday cake that you left out on the counter for a week during a heat wave.
I've had that before.
Taking a bite. Now we come to Behavior's dirty little secret.
Yeah.
Character they wish to forget and wish you did too. The dynamic duo, the monsters at high MMR.
Prepare for trouble.
Make it double.
Team Rocket blast.
Melody.
Surrender now or prepare to fight.
That's right.
The twins. One of Behavior's most interesting technical achievements. Conceptually.
Yeah, conceptually, because it was broken on release, and this character has never been in a completely healthy state since they've released. There are characters that are bugless in this game. I know it's hard to believe. There are characters in this game that just are bugless. They'll get a bug every once in a while, and then it gets fixed. Twins have never been in that state. They have never had a patch where they've had 0 bugs. Isn't that wild? Isn't that absolutely wild?
Gameplay-wise, we have a lot more misses than hits. The twins are a personal favorite of mine. Not high on that list of favorites, but up there more
all three
so
of you.
Than
All three of you twins mains. Trickster needs a rework too. Trickster just doesn't work.
So when it came to the first non-licensed character
well, they
I
do
would
work,
like
but
to rework for the
they're
series, the twins were kind of a no-brainer. Since we're still waiting on the twins rework they claimed we were getting last year, that's now going to come at some point this year. Kind of seems obvious they don't.
I don't think they gave a. Did they give a time for that?
And would rather just forget about them, or have no idea how to rework them, or if they did rework them, how they wouldn't break the game doing so. So here we go. I played a lot of the twins when they first launches. Glitches be damned.
I must say no, you didn't. That's a lie, because half of your games, Victor would get stuck in the floor and you'd have to alt F4, and that was the only way to get out of it. That was the only way you got out of that. That bug literally was game breaking.
And I loved Victor as a concept, and I was willing to stomach all of the issues that inevitably would have come with something so out of the normal for the devs. It was new, and it was definitely a good amount of work.
Right,
even though it's
I appreciate you.
The twins did have a lot of work behind them, and passion as well. You can see their story being a huge part of the overarching lore of Dead by Daylight, and not just some story about struggle that made them into a killer. Behavior wanted this character to do well, and for whatever reason, maybe it didn't sell well, it was just too buggy and too much work.
Not only was the twins too buggy, that chapter, like, almost the entire killer roster was bugged, whether it be their add-ons, their powers, like, that was, like, in the time that I played the game, in the you know, a little, like, 3.5 years I've played the game, that was the buggiest chapter that has ever hit this game. Like, most of the game was just broken. So, yeah, People have very, very negative feelings about that era of Dead by Daylight, and rightfully so.
They just forgot about them, or let them fade into obscurity, which is kind of sad and actually kind of fitting for the characters of the twins. As these two stories start with them attempting to escape persecution by
to explain this, Gorkor, Trickster is like the Haddonfield of killers. He's not fun to play as, and he's not fun to play against. It's like with New Haddonfield, they've somehow found a way to create a map that's both unfun on Killer and unfun on Survivor. How did you do that? Trickster's the same way. Trickster's like frustrating to play as, but also frustrating to play against. So it's like, who's having a good time here?
Fellow countrymen for the crime of being deformed. They were forced to live on the run with their mother, but eventually, as their mother fell ill, Charlotte was tasked to be the breadwinner of the family. And the only way this was possible,
maybe not mid-video, Nord, so I can actually focus on giving you
for the rest
proper and
of the
good
twins'
advice.
life, even after Victor
I'm definitely
passed
gonna be
away,
focusing on the video.
Charlotte lived her life as a vulture, hiding in the shadows,
Maybe hold it until
always moving
afterwards.
forward, being followed not far behind by the ignorant and those with ulterior motives. Charlotte hoards, scavenges, and uses her ingenuity to make do with what she has to get to another day. And yet, with that being such a key part of her character and the main focus of her skills, it's not really represented in her power. Instead, all we got was Charlotte being the equivalent of a missile ship carrying locked and lethal.
Hey, but that's cool though, especially with the lore that, like, in order to bring Victor back, he had to the entity had to split Charlotte's soul in two. I think that's cool. With that little lore tidbit, that makes this idea really, really neat.
Anti-fun Victor missiles. Victor's a really
I
fun
got that matched up
concept,
perfectly.
but I feel is incredibly overtuned. So that those with the experience and the skill with Victor can absolutely devastate even the strongest loopers. With Victor being the only real aspect of
But she's not, like, better than, like, I won't even put her top 10. I won't even put her, like, top 10 in the game. She's definitely A tier, but I don't even know if she's top 10. You really think she's too strong? I just think she's good.
Power does make sense why it is so strong, but it doesn't mean it's very fun to go against.
So I'm gonna pay you $100 to fuck off. Leave me alone.
And kinda too simple to play. Of course, you can use Victor as like a radio tower.
I don't like that noise. Ow, that hurts my ears, please. No.
But even then, it just becomes a survivor getting close enough and he becomes such a ruthless threat again. What I want to do, and I think I succeed in this, is adding more depth to the twins, giving them both an equal role in dispatching survivors, instead of Victor doing the heavy lifting. Bad choice of words. Victor being the lethal one. So,
a lethal pursuer, if you will.
The twins' power is called Blood Bond. Victor can be released and controlled by Charlotte at any given time. Once Victor is released, he is left stationary until...
I'm gonna say, before we get too deep into this, I don't think the twins' power is a bad idea. I just think it needs to actually function without constant bugs and awkwardness. This character needs more quality of life than a whole rework. But if they can't make it work, like, I guess you just gotta throw it all out. But, like, I haven't really, like, hated the power. It just needs to actually, like, function well. The bugs that the twins have, they actually just fixed one. They fixed one in the patch notes. You can literally do exclamation point changes. And there's one that they fixed in the patch notes about, like, something happening, which, something bad. I forget what it was, but something bad happened when they switched back and forth. It's like, there's always a big bug happening with them. There's a bug that has never been fixed, where, like, sometimes when you switch back and forth, you look straight up as Charlotte for, like, no reason. That's still in the game. There's a bug that goes away and comes back every other patch, where if you pounce as Victor up a staircase, sometimes he just dies for no reason. Like, up any sort of, like, incline, going up, Victor just dies sometimes. Like, why? And that goes away and comes back, like, every other patch, every other chapter. It's like, this is the most broken character in the game. Just fix them. And if you, like, the only reason they need a rework is if you actually can't fix the problems. Like, they're just in such a terrible state, and that's why I don't play them.
Possessed by Charlotte or commanded to a toy soldier. Toy soldier. Charlotte can craft and place toy soldiers.
You're just gonna make her doll maker from VHS? That's where you're really gonna go. That's where you're gonna go with this. You're just gonna make. Okay, we don't know yet. We don't. I'm out of focus, by the way. Hey, I'm right here. I'm right here. I didn't go anywhere. Hey, I'm right here. Anyways, This sounds like Dollmaker already from VHS. You're just gonna like pry a concept from the cold dead hands of Video Horror Society and just bring it into Dead by Daylight.
Around the trial, which she makes through scrap collected through chests around the map. She
Which
then
would fit
can
with
command
Hoarder. I see where you're headed with
unbonded
this.
Victor to walk towards it, where he will remain stationary until Charlotte
Not
commands him
using
to
it
move
anymore.
to another soldier, or takes possession of Victor herself. A total of 6 toys can be placed anywhere in the map at any given time, besides within 24 meters of a hooked survivor. Any toy soldiers placed before the hook stage will remain where they are. Toy soldier auras can be seen by Charlotte and Victor at all times. Toy soldiers can be destroyed with a quick kick by the survivors in a similar way they kick Victor, but there is no noise notification alerting the twins of a toy's destruction. Scavenged scrap. To be a little more true to Charlotte's nature for scavenging what she needs to survive, likely these scavenged items belong to somebody else. If you place a lot of value on that purple medkit you bring into the match, I would be careful, because it would look awfully bad as a pile of scrap. Introducing the new scrap mechanic, making chests a little more interesting. When the twins enter the trial, they cause 4 additional chests to be spawned around the map.
Okay.
Charlotte is aware of the auras of all chests at all times around the map.
Interesting.
Charlotte can spend 2 seconds at a chest to collect scrap to craft a toy soldier. Chests with items will reward enough scrap for 2 toy soldiers, while an empty chest will only reward 1.
I like that.
Open chests will stay open for 60 seconds. Afterwards, they will close, allowing Charlotte and unsuspecting survivors to open them again.
Okay.
Charlotte can find items on the ground such as toolbox, medkits, keys, and convert them to scrap, which equals 2 toy soldiers. Victor.
I mean, that would heavily encourage Franklins. I'm just gonna warn you. If you're cool with that, you're cool with that. I'm just saying that means every Twins is bringing Franklins, and they will hate. People will hate Twins just on the premise that provides disgusting synergy with Franklins. Disgusting. So people will still hate Twins. If your goal is to make a new power that will make them not hate Twins, that makes them a Franklin's machine. Just warning you. Just warning you. Just warning you.
Victor's movement speed has been reduced from 6.0 meters a second to 5.0 meters a second. Victor's travel speed while traversing is set to 2.0 meters.
That's the alien's movement speed while in the tunnels.
Victor's shriek range, whether he is stationary or traversing, is set to 16 meters.
But I would simply need to see exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Survivors
I'll
who
say,
are
Ash,
within
good to see you.
16 meters of
Hope you're
Victor
doing well
while
today.
he is traversing.
Have you tried the new alien
will
stuff?
be shown on Killer Instinct, causing Victor to stop and stare in the direction of the shown survivor. His grumbles become twice as loud. Victor's respawn timer after being destroyed is increased from 6 seconds to 20 seconds.
Wow.
If Victor spends more than 10 seconds in a 16-meter radius of a hooked survivor, he will dissolve and return to Charlotte. If a toy soldier is destroyed while Victor is traversing to it and there are no other toy soldiers on the map, Victor will remain in place until Charlotte possesses him or he dissolves.
This is getting really
Victor's
complicated. Really
charge
quickly.
speed, pounce, remains the same. Victor's survivor latching ability is unchanged. It's time to talk everyone's favorite part of the video, add-ons. Toy sword.
It sounds like they just kind of like nerfed. They didn't really rework the Twins. They just kind of like nerfed what they currently have and added a side ability. Interesting.
Reduces charge time of Victor's.
Hopefully I am doing well. This is literally my dream chapter. Now I want for nothing. I want for nothing else. I want for nothing else. In terms of new content DVD. I'm happy now.
Pounce by 0.3 seconds. Soured milk. This remains unchanged.
A little confused. They essentially
Tiny
just
finger.
nerfed
Survivors
Twins
who
base kit
break
and
a
added the toy soldier
scream
thing.
out, revealing their location. Cat figurine. Toy soldiers are highlighted in red when a survivor is within 32 meters.
That's a
Madeline's
long distance.
gloves.
That's a really good brown.
Survivors who break a toy soldier.
That's a really good brown add-on. 32 meters? A whole? That's good. That's really good.
Afflicted with exhausted for 20
It might be
seconds.
okay, but that's really, really good.
Ceremonial candelabrum. Victor's respawn timer is reduced by 5 seconds. Cat's eye. This is unchanged. Bloody black hood. This is unchanged. Baby teeth. Survivors spotted by Victor while he's traversing suffer the blindness status effect as long as they are spotted, and 30 seconds afterwards. Weighty rattle. Survivors removing Victor are broken for 30 seconds. Stale biscuit. Charlotte receives a 10% haste for 10 seconds after collecting scrap from a chest.
No, I love stale biscuit.
Sewer sludge. Victor's respawn timer is reduced by 10 seconds. Rusted needle. Survivors opening chests are injured and afflicted with deep wounds. Madeline's scarf. Survivors within 32 meters of Charlotte opening a chest scream and reveal their location.
That's really good for green.
Or revealed for 5.
I would make that a purple. That's really good. 32 meters is a big distance. Big distance. And especially if it's something that it's going to be part of your base kit that you're going to be doing often, I'd make that purple.
Seconds. Victor's favorite soldier. Breaking a toy soldier inflicts oblivious to the survivor for 30 seconds. Spinning top. This is unchanged. Forest stew. Increase Victor's movement speed by 0.5 meters a second. Drop of perfume. Survivors who break a toy soldier have their aura revealed for 8 seconds. Silencing cloth. This is unchanged. Iridescent pendant. Survivors after crushing Victor are exposed for 30 seconds. And that's the twins. When I heard about the twins entering the game and seeing how they were 2 separate entities, I imagined them as some kind of multiple map pressure kind of character. The first character who could pressure 2 locations simultaneously.
I will say you're kind of entering, if you're wanting people, okay, if you're wanting them to just like, you know, rework them to do something cool with your cool idea, that's cool. But if any part of your plan is to make people like them more, you still kept most of the things that people hate about this character, and now they have aspects of like Nemesis zombies, which people also don't like. So just keep in mind. Also, in Triple, like I said, this character's gonna be a Franklin's machine. A Franklin's machine. That way they can steal your items and make toy soldiers out of it. People are not gonna like this version of the killer. If you don't care about that, that's fine. Like, if that's not an intent, that's not something you're considering in terms of a rework. It's like, is it fun for both sides? Will the other side enjoy it? Yeah, but like, you're not going to make them more beloved with this change, I'll tell you that.
Well, we did kinda. Instead of multiple map pressure, like 2 full bodies, it turned out to be the Queen of Slugs and the Prince of Slugs. Instead of 2 bodies, we got an M1 killer and a Speedy Gonzalez if he ran through a couple rounds of chemotherapy. There's a lot of things to like about the twins. Victor trick shots are fun and adds a little bit of fear that we all kind of lose after a certain amount of hours playing Dead by Daylight. He can block off loops to cut off survivors, but you can kick him or stun Charlotte if she is currently in possession.
Yeah, that's funny.
You can
That's
choose
really
to
funny.
hold Victor for a certain amount of time at the cost of not doing actions, and not hearing if Charlotte is nearby. There is a lot to love about the twins, and there's just as much to hate. They are a bug-riddled mess.
They are.
Where game-breaking or game-altering bugs are the norm rather than an inconvenience from time to time. The slugging playstyle is a snore. Sure, it's fun to get so many downs in quick succession, but then you have to go pick up all your trash you left on the ground or risk a fine. No littering. It's not fun, especially if someone crawls away and you can't find them. Now you're just sitting around for 2 more minutes, not able to do anything. I want the twins to have map pressure. I want it to feel like you're facing 2 different opponents in an experience unlike most others in the roster. I'm a big sucker for summons or any minion-based characters in anything.
So you like
really.
Knight.
So the twins were going to be such a breath of
Or
fresh
Skull
air.
Merchant.
But once I went to inhale, someone pointed their ass in my face.
Whoa!
I think lowering his speed will do wonders for his overall lethality, but still leave him as a credible threat if stumbled upon while traversing the map. Perhaps he should be a little bit slower, but I was
about to say, this sounds like he can basically do most of the same things that you were just describing that people already hate about their character, but now they have essentially Nemesis zombies also wandering around, which is... I don't know about that, Chief. I don't know about
You
that.
need to be creative with your toy soldiers, because if you just place them next to generators, you're going to lose them very quickly. That way, survivors don't just feel like they're being oppressed by another 3-gen killer.
No, I'm about to say, yeah, like if you want them to be more beloved, you're making them more by giving the toy soldiers, it's more, I guess you're right, it's more akin to Skull Merchant's drones, but that's worse. That's worse than Nemesis zombies.
You have to collect your resources and use them well,
Oh, no.
or you will be punished. You could still use Victor like you could before, but now he's just a lot less of an oppressive threat.
Oh, I know how to kill him.
Ooh, ooh, kill him. Ooh, ooh, ooh,
Excuse me.
kill him. Ooh, ooh.
I want to make a trade. Overly oppressive chase to significant amount of map pressure. Remember, all of this cannot be tested, so any numbers being slightly too high or too low on cooldown, amount of toys, whatever it may be, would be adjusted with
You really need a
testing.
toy with that
Since
idea, huh?
This is not possible.
Sorry.
Don't take them with 100% commitment. This is about
But commitment is
ideas
good.
and what could and wouldn't work.
Important for
well,
healthy relationships.
Discussion and hopefully improvement
Sorry.
for love and unloved characters. So that'll be wrapping up the Twins rework video. Was it what you were expecting?
Nope.
Disappointing? Surprising? Kind of what you were looking for. So please let me know in the comment section below what you like, what you may have a problem with, and we will cover it in the update video going over community feedback and reaction. So,
Reaction? That's what I'm
lastly,
doing right
I'll
now.
say
Wow.
Thank you all for watching. I'm Dustaroo, and I will see you all real soon.
Man, get
Bye-bye.
that thing out of my face. Okay, so like I said, you kind of left every aspect of the killer that's people generally don't like and don't care for, and then added kind of ambient NPCs around the map, which is something that people also don't like, and also giving the character synergy with Franklin's. If you're wanting people to like this character more and feel less oppressive, you have not accomplished that. Respectfully, people will hate this character arguably more in your world in these changes. Just saying. People will arguably hate Twins more. If that's not something you care for out and you just want to make it more fun to play, sure, go for it. Neat. But those three things will make this character definitely way worse to face. Definitely not way less beloved. And there's only 3 people that love him anyway, so like, So I don't know. I feel like if you were gonna do a rework, I'm shocked you didn't throw everything out. You know, like I said, like I'll be the first one to tell you that I think like they just need to feel not clunky. They need quality of life changes, not a full rework. But this is a rework series, and you basically left them almost entirely the same and gave them 2 more, or gave them another part of their kit that's just obnoxious. So I don't know about this one. I really loved your Myers one. This one, not really a fan of. But that's okay. That's okay. You can't be clairvoyant and have good ideas with everything. And who knows? Maybe other people love it, and I'm just a weirdo. So, yeah, I mean, that's okay. That's okay. Can't hit them all. Can't win them all.